This is Rally Deutschland, round 10 of the World Rally Championship. And this weekend is crucial for Sebastian Loeb. He needs to win here to keep the pressure on Marcus Gronholm in the Drivers' Championship. He may have won the title for the past 3 years, but as it stands, he's 13 points behind Gronholm.
Is this the most pressure you've ever been under to win a rally, do you think?
I don't think too much to that. I know that it's a point of the championship where it can go in the wrong way, like in a good way. So it's for sure important, but it's no question to be too much careful. I need to beat Marcus.
But history suggests that for Loeb, victory is almost assured. He's won in Germany every year since it was introduced to the WRC in 2002. Last year, Marcus Gronholm finished over 2 minutes behind his rival in the Ford Focus, but he now has the Focus 07, which Marcus took to victory in the last round in Finland, a different proposition.
After the test it was okay and the feeling was good, so I hope well.
With the confidence that you probably came from Finland, can you beat Loeb this weekend?
No, Finland is different, completely different rally what we have here, but that's the target, to beat him here and to win him for first time, but it's not so easy.
We'll be taking a closer look at this fascinating battle for the championship later in the programme.
That's good.
But here are the standings going into Rally Deutschland. Gronholm with that 13 points over Loeb, and Ford's Mikko Hirvonen is just 5 points behind the Frenchman. Gronholm and Hirvonen's performances mean that Ford are way out in front in the manufacturer's standings, 40 points ahead of Loeb's Citroën team. WRC Central for this weekend is the city of Trier. This has always been Rally HQ. This year it's also home to the service park, and for the very first time a super special stage run through the streets on the final day. Trier is the oldest city in Germany and can be found on the bank of the Mosel River in the far west of the country, on the border with Luxembourg and France. 19 stages make up the rally. These include many different characteristics. One certainty is that they will be very tricky, and they've caught out many a driver over the last few years. If the stages don't catch you out, then there's always the weather.
Germany is not a normal rally in tarmac because it's very slippery. It's signed the grip all the time.
You get surface changes almost every junction. It changes from bricks to concrete to tarmac to old concrete, all this sort of thing. And it really is a very, very tricky rally. You're always looking for grip.
Mud and gravel and loose rocks and bumpy and yeah, it's many different things. Yeah.
Every year in Germany, as I can remember, we've had wet days, dry days, and the worst nightmare of all is when you leave a service on slicks and then it starts to rain.
You're sitting there if you're on a slick and the guy in front of you is on a wet and it's pouring with rain, and you're going to lose a minute or so.
For sure it's difficult, but I like it like this, to have not all the rally the same conditions like we have in Spain, for example. But it makes it a little more exciting.
It is a tricky rally, but one man who's mastered it is Sebastian Loeb. He gives us a guide of how to tackle this event.
Here you see that we cut in the mud inside, so the car is slipping around. It's very difficult because it's narrow and fast. Like here also you see the car moving in every direction, so it's the conditions are really difficult. Here you have also a very muddy hairpin, so in this kind of hairpin you have to be concentrated not to stall the engine, because you can easily lose a lot of time in that. Now it's a very fast but very narrow place with a difficult braking for completely full of mud, left-hander. So in this place you need to really to have precise notes and to know that it will be so slippery, because if you go a bit fast in, you lose immediately the control of the car. When you suddenly arrive on some mud, the grip is changing completely. It's 10 or 20 times less. So you really need in this condition to anticipate that and to slow down a lot before the corners. That can be difficult. Like here in some place, the next corner, I know it tight a bit at the end, and it's muddy inside. So if you come too fast here and you don't know it's muddy, you can go out on the road.
And it all started with a dramatic opening ceremony in Trier town centre in front of the Porta Nigra. Loeb once again took centre stage as the fans turned out in force to cheer on their hero. On to the opening stage now, and it's a 20-kilometre blast through the vineyards to get us underway. Championship leader Marcus Gronholm is the first man to take on stage one. Difficult task ahead for the Finn then. Sebastian Loeb has never been beaten on the tricky tarmac stages of Germany, and it's also the first sealed surface event for the new 2007 Focus. The world champion, of course, has to get back to winning ways to get his title challenge back on track. He's the undoubted favourite this weekend, and looking at his smooth, precise driving style through stage one here, you can see why Seb is going to be very tough to beat in Germany. Mikko Hirvonen is making his fourth start on Rally Deutschland. His best result to date here is an 8th place finish in 2004. He'll certainly need to improve on that. But the subtle changes to this new Focus have been made primarily to improve its performance on tarmac, so he'll be hopeful of a strong result. And you can guarantee that this man too will have a big part to play this weekend. Dani Sordo may still be finding his feet on gravel rallies, but back on tarmac, the Spaniard is one of the best in the business. A repeat of the 2nd place finish behind his teammate last year would be a welcome result for both Citroën and Loeb. Peter Solberg proves how tricky these roads are. Here, this is the Norwegian on the road section on the way to stage one, and he's already spun before the rally's even begun. Not the start Petter and co-driver Phil Mills were hoping for then. It was another confident, sapping finish to the former world champions weekend in Finland. But with the mysterious handling problems behind him, expect to see a typically resilient performance from the Norwegian here.
60.
Back with Gronholm now, and the championship leader is attacking hard. The Finn has never won a pure tarmac rally, and you can see he's clearly not as comfortable as he was in his home event 2 weeks ago. And using virtual spectator here, we can get an early indication of how the Fords are comparing to the Citroëns as they approach the 9.7-kilometre split time. It's roughly halfway through the stage, and both Gronholm and Hirvonen are already well off the pace of Loeb and Sordo. Sordo's 1.7 seconds slower than his teammate, while Hirvonen is 6.5 seconds behind Loeb, and Marcus 7.7 down on his championship rival so far. Back with Loeb then as the Frenchman closes on the finish line of stage one, and as expected, he's looking like the man to beat again in Germany. Despite the changeable grip levels and unpredictable weather, Seb always manages to make this treacherous event look easy. He's on a softer tyre than Gronholm, and it's clearly paying off so far. He's going to smash the time set by the championship leader here. 10.2 seconds faster already. The perfect start for Loeb.
At the moment, it's looking better than after the first stage in Finland. So, okay, everything is going well. The feeling with the car is good. A little bit of understeering, but not so much. So, no problem at the moment.
Once again then, Sebastian is setting the benchmark in Germany. We're back with his teammate Dani Sordo now, and like Loeb, the Spaniard, it is at his most comfortable on tarmac. He's already had 4 podium finishes on sealed surface rallies in his short career, and it's only a matter of time before he becomes a serious challenger for his teammate for wins on the Black Star. There's Seb's time, and it looks like he'll struggle to match him here. Yes, 3.8 seconds slower, but he is the best of the rest at the moment. Chris Atkinson showed his best form for months in Finland, securing 4th place. The Australian's best result to date in Germany is 8th, but he's already looking good to beat that. He's just 1.1 seconds slower than Sordo. While the returning Francois Duval has also made a fantastic start to a rally. He's finished as runner-up on twice before. The former Works Ford and Citroën driver is back behind the wheel of a Citroën with the OMV Kronos team, and he's faster than Sordo, just 3 seconds off the time set by Loeb. Confirmation then of that great start for Francois Duval, who's second behind Loeb. Sordo's third, just 8 tenths behind Duval, but look at Gronholm. He's down in 7th after a cautious start on hard tyres. There's plenty more to come from this, the trickiest of tarmac rallies. Marcus Gronholm needs to step up the pace if he's to challenge the might of Loeb here in Germany. Welcome back to Germany, and it's 5-time Rally Deutschland winner Sebastian Loeb who leads the way early on here. Currently 3 seconds ahead of his former teammate Francois Duval. It's the longest stage of the day next, the 23 kilometres of Grafschaft Veldenst. And Loeb continues where he left off on stage 2. Once again, the world champion is incredibly quick on his favourite surface. He's fastest again through here and extends his advantage at the head of the field. Marcus Gronholm has selected a harder tyre compound than his championship rival this morning, expecting warmer weather. It was clearly a disadvantage on stage 1, but now things have warmed up. He's already a lot faster. Marcus is just 9 tenths of a second slower than Seb and jumps from 7th to 4th on stage 2. Gronholm's Ford teammate Mikko Hirvonen, meanwhile, is caught up in a fight for 5th with Peter Solberg. Oh, a stall there for the Finn, which won't help his chances of catching the Norwegian. Even so, Mikko's 7 tenths of a second quicker than Solberg through here, and is now just 1 second behind overall. Subaru's number 2, Chris Atkinson, meanwhile, comes into stage 2 in 4th, the same position he finished in Finland 2 weeks ago.
60. Cut 7 right onto main. 100. 9 right plus.
Oh, but he's off. This could be a costly error from the Australian. He's beats the Impreza on this rutted field. In all, 8 minutes pass before he gets back on the road, and that's the end of any hopes he had of a strong finish in Germany. In contrast to Atkinson's disastrous stage 2, meanwhile, it's been a terrific start to the rally for Francois Duval. The Belgian's third fastest behind Loeb and Gronholm on stage 3 and keeps second, but now 6.2 seconds behind the world champion. On to stage 3 then, and the signs are that Gronholm's beginning to find some pace, but can he do enough to concern Loeb? Oh, moment's hesitation there from Marcus, a sign of how hard the Finn's attacking. He can't afford to go off the road. A non-points finish would be disastrous. Gronholm right on the limit then, so Loeb will need to be at his best again here in stage 3. He complains of a sticking handbrake, and there's plenty of hairpins to negotiate today, so if that problem persists, it could be a concern. As it is, though, he's faster than Marcus again. Danny Sordo was beaten by Gronholm on the previous test, but sends a reminder to the championship leader of his abilities on tarmac here on stage 3. The Spaniard's 2 seconds quicker than the Finn, and now 5.5 ahead overall. But it's Francois Duval who's fastest on this final test before the midday service break. The Belgian's relishing his return to action in the Citroën Zara, and he closes slightly on Loeb. We have a real fight on our hands here for the rally lead this afternoon. So as the cars head back to service, Loeb leads from Duval, Sordo's third, 5.5 seconds ahead of Gronholm. Peter Solberg's fifth, having increased his lead over Hirvonen to 3.5 seconds. But back in service, the rain has arrived, making for worrying times for the drivers as they and the teams have to decide on the best tyres for the second loop of stages.
It's raining here at the service park. What can you tell us about the conditions on the next loop of stages?
It will be I think.
Do you think it's raining?
I don't know. I am not a meteorologist, and this is the in the rally when we have this kind of weather. It's sitting here and guessing. I don't know.
It's important on tarmac to have some good gravel crews that give you some good information of the tricky places, and after, if it's raining, it will be much more slippery, and it's really difficult here in Germany when it's muddy. So we'll see.
The teams have multiple sources of information on both the weather and the state of the stages, and from that they have to decide on the optimum tyre choice.
We've gone on the slick, but we've done some slight modification to it. Stages 4 and stages 6, it's not raining and the road's drying very quickly, and stage 5 is still raining at the moment. And the forecast that we've got is there might be some more light showers later. So basically we've taken a tyre with a little bit of insurance.
Second place Duval takes the same tyres as the Fords, but with a few extra cuts to help him through the dirtier sections as he's running further down the order than the top runners. A real threat of rain then this afternoon as the crews make their way to the stages, a repeated loop of the roads used this morning. On a medium compound slick tyre, but with a shower expected at some point this afternoon. The Ford team have made some cuts in the rubber to clear some of the surface water if needed. For now though, the rain is holding off and Marcus is looking pretty fast here in stage 4. Not as fast though as this man. Just as Gronholm is the master of his home event in Finland, Loeb is almost unstoppable in Germany. The Frenchman's opting for a slightly softer slick tyre to help in the possible damper conditions. It's proving a difficult day so far for Mikko Hirvonen. He's been well off the pace set by Loeb, but does have his sights set on the Subaru of Peter Solberg, who's 3.6 seconds ahead in 5th. Back with Mikko's Ford teammate Gronholm now, and he appears to be negotiating the tricky vineyard roads well here. He can't quite match Loeb's time again though, and is another 2.1 seconds slower than Citroen's number 1 on stage 4.
It's very difficult conditions. I think he have the right tire, soft one, but if it dries up now, I hope for the next 2 that we can beat him.
Marcus still not entirely happy then, but he did still set a fairly impressive time, so the pressure will be building on Danny Sordo, who started the stage 5.5 seconds ahead. Oh, but he's got that corner all wrong there. And with Gronholm looking so competitive, that could have been a costly error. There's the target time Danny needs to beat to stay ahead of the Finn, and he could be in trouble here. It's not going to be good enough. That spin did indeed cause him problems. He falls to 4th, now just under a second behind Marcus. So change on the leaderboard already then this afternoon. Peter Solberg meanwhile is launching his Impreza through the latter part of the stage, but has he done enough to hold off the attentions of Mikko Hirvonen? The Ford man, remember, was just 3.6 seconds behind Petter before this stage, and it's now Mikko's turn to tackle the last few corners of stage 4. He's suffering with the flu, but you wouldn't know it from his performance here. He beats Petter and moves into 5th. The revelation of the day, though, has been Francois Duval. With just 1 outing so far this year, you could have forgiven the Belgian for being a little rusty, but he's been anything but.
25, gauche 60 en frein, pour arrière gauche 30 de corde, attention très sale, arrière gauche 30 de corde, très sale.
He passes an ailing Thomas Shea here, but doesn't lose any time. How will his performance compare with Loeb's?
Sur léger gauche à fond, 100 mètres, long au gauche à fond absolu de l'arrivée. Et 100 mètres.
Very close to the finish line here, and I think he's going to beat him. Yes, another fantastic effort from the OMV driver. 2.8 seconds quicker than Loeb. So Loeb leads, but only by 3 seconds. Gronholm takes third from Sordo, whilst Hirvonen takes fifth from Petter Solberg. Tony Gardemeister in a privateer Citroën is seventh, with Subaru's Chevy Ponce in eighth. It's been a spectacular return to the WRC by Francois Duval, but it's still that man Loeb who heads the field. There's 2 more stages still to come, and with rain threatening, anything could happen. Welcome back to Germany, where the final pair of stages of day 1 are about to get underway. But first, let's check on the progress of some of the drivers further down the field. Jan Kopecky is flying the flag for Skoda, showing the Fabia still has a bit of pace. The Czech driver's running just outside the points in 9th, but it's closing on Chevy Ponce. The Spaniard, though, would have an eventful finish to the afternoon. A spin and damage to a wheel eventually see the Subaru driver slip behind Kopecky. Jari-Matti Latvala has been unable to reproduce his rally-leading heroics he showed in Finland. The Stobart Ford man running 10th going into the final stages. One place behind him is Manfred Stoll. The Austrian is having a difficult day, unlike his new teammate Francois Duval. A lucky escape there for Manfred, but at least he is still running.
150.
Henning Solberg's Rally Deutschland debut would end in frustration. A broken suspension ending his rally early. Let's get back to the intriguing battles for the top spots now, though, and Sebastian Loeb still has his former teammate Francois Duval breathing down his neck. Just 3 seconds separate them going into stage 5. This event really has been a tremendous performance from the Belgian on his first event with the OMV Kronos Citroën team. He has a year's experience driving the Sara, of course, with the Works team in 2005, but even so, this has been an outstanding return to action. And his fine run continues. He's fastest on stage 5, beating Loeb by 1.3 seconds. Marcus Gronholm, meanwhile, is looking very strong this afternoon. He's locked in a battle with Dani Sordo for the final podium spot and beats the Spaniard again on stage 5, but he's still only 1.6 seconds ahead. Further back, another Finn is making progress too. Tony Gardemeister's driving a privately entered Citroën Zara, and he passes Petter Solberg for 6th after the Norwegian damages a wheel. On to the final stage of the day then, and unfortunately for Dani Sordo, it would be his last. For the 3rd time in the last 3 rallies, the Spaniard's forced to retire. This time, an engine failure is the cause of his downfall. So, more bad news then for Citroën, with their ambitions in the Manufacturers' Championship already ailing. Loeb, though, is still very much in the fight for the driver's title, but despite his best efforts, he's not been able to shake off Duval.
Really happy to be in this position now, because we had really soft tires this afternoon. We expected wet and humid condition, and it was completely dry and sunny, and I'm really happy. At the start of the loop I thought I will lose minimum 15 seconds and nothing, so not so bad.
So the Frenchman not sounding too confident there, which can only be good news for Marcus Gronholm. After Sordo's retirement, the Finn will feel a little more secure in 3rd, and he can now focus his attentions on chasing down the leading pair.
The first stage was bad in the morning, so we have quite a big gap, but I am trying to push tomorrow in Baumholder. Okay.
Marcus content for now then, but Petter Solberg is anything but. His run of bad luck is showing no sign of easing up. The damage caused to his wheel has affected his steering, and the Norwegian falls from 7th to 9th on this last stage of day 1.
Opens out long, 100.
Vettel having problems then, but there's still one more chance for Francois Duval to claim the overall lead. The Belgian was just 1.7 seconds behind coming into the final stage, and Loeb certainly didn't sound too confident before, and for good reason. With his third fastest time of the day, Francois storms past the world champion to claim the lead.
Francois, it's just coming through that you've actually taken the lead of the rally. Your leader at the end of day one.
Yeah, sure. I am very happy. I am very surprised after 8 months stay on my home, working a lot, and I am very happy for today.
So after 6 stages, Duval leads here in Germany from Loeb. Gronholm's third, 16 seconds behind. Hirvonen and Gardemeister both move up 1 place after Sordo's retirement. Kopecky, Ponce and Latvala bring up the rear. It's been an action-packed first day, and to cap it all, there's a new name at the top of the leaderboard. Join us tomorrow for more action, and if you want more information, there's always WRC.com.